Welcome to Inner Voice of Knowing podcast. I'm Kaye, a shamanic leadership coach and healer, guiding you through life with a foot in both worlds. When you understand the terrain of the inner landscapes, the mental, emotional, spiritual, and energetic, you will become the leader within your physical life, both personally and professionally. After all, the power of change is in your hands. Let's get this journey started. Welcome to another episode of Inner Voice of Knowing. There is a lot of change happening for all of us. It's not just a full moon element. It's not what's happening astrologically. There is massive vibrational frequencies that are changing and that are up leveling. And we're also seeing that in the form of what some might look at as chaos happening in the world. But remember, in the center of chaos, there is also order. So people are feeling tired or drained of energy. They're just feeling the shifts. And in that, change and deeper insight and a deeper sense of letting go is actually called for. I myself have been really unmasking a pattern. And we always think that I've dealt with that, but it comes back and it calls us back into a deeper and deeper and deeper level until you really pull the whole root system out of it as well. And that can feel confronting. So if you're feeling triggered, you need to be looking in deeper. You need to be calling upon that inner voice of knowing, source, soul, successful self into the unmasking of the illusions that have become the intrusions, those false stories and beliefs that you play out in your projections with others, in your responses, in the triggers. And it's not just been happening to me. I am seeing it with all my clients and all of my friends. There seems to be this similar shift, this theme that is running through everybody that I know and that I work with, and including myself. So one thing that people are saying is, I'm feeling insular. And that's how I felt last week and into this week a bit, in unmasking something that's such a deep calling and a deep letting go and the absolute realization of the illusion of it, of needing to deepen what is a throwaway line these days in terms of unconditional love, where nothing outside of you needs to change. Nothing and no one. It's all about what's taking place within us and what we need to let go of, and who we need to become in the next soulful, empowered leadership expression of who we are. And it's a deep calling, and it feels like a big ask. So you may need to reach out and get help, healing, and support. I'm incredibly insightful, and I was able to unmask what's happening in the deepest unconscious, in those patterns. But I too still went and saw those that work with me energetically. Okay, so if you need support, reach out to me. If you want to work with me in terms of programs, in terms of healing, it doesn't matter where you live, or find someone that you know you trust that understands what's going on. Now, how is this different? This is different because what's happening for a lot of people is what I am now terming for myself, it is a decay. Now, why do I use that word decay? Because it's like when you get right down to the very last part of something, it's like the decay of the whole, but we pull the bones out of it, as a dear friend said the other day. And I loved that analogy. So thank you, Mandy J. When I was saying it's a word I've never used for myself before. Let's be authentic and honest here. But I've not felt quite in this same place with something that's so big, and that's what others are saying around me, including those that are doing some energy work with me. It's like, oh my gosh, same story. Okay? Same theme, if you like, same energy thread running through. And it was when I said, I've never used that word decay before, but it's the decay and I'm excited by it. And she said, it's like when she came across a dead emu on the land, and as it decayed, the kids took the bones from it. And it's like, yes, the bones of the new total way of being and seeing and perceiving for me within relationship. And it's for so many, okay, that's where they're being challenged or called to look into. Feels like the challenge, but it's the calling, okay, deeper into that exploration. And unless you're very adept, even the adept like myself, still needed to call out for support. Now, why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because when you reach that depth, you're going to fall apart or you're going to fall into, okay? Because it feels like you're falling into it, which is that real feeling of letting go. The falling apart is when you're struggling to make sense of it. So you spiral into it and you don't get the support or create the environment for yourself that also nurtures you through this process. Okay. This goes beyond everyday challenges and it's a busy week and you've got to call on your stabilizers, which I've covered off on in a previous podcast. But for those that haven't listened to that, basically, in short, your stabilizers are the three things that you need to do because it stabilizes you. Example, it might be meditation, for me also exercise and connection to others. But you feel you haven't got the time, but rather than just letting go of everything that stabilizes you, you pick your top three and you commit while you're juggling so many balls in the air, while so much is going on, to the bare minimum of what you'll do each day or each week, which means you achieve it, okay? So they stabilize you. So instead of meditating for an hour, you might say, well, I can do 15 minutes. I can commit to that. And instead of it being 5 days a week, I can do it 3. It stabilizes you. You can do more than the bare minimum, but the bare minimum ensures success. Instead of an hour's walk, I might say, well, I will do a 15-minute walk 4 times in the week. I can achieve that. It stabilizes me. This moves beyond that. This is when you go into that feeling of such deep realization, being confronted by the illusion that you've been living with and what you must let go of in order to move into that next expression of self-leadership, of freedom and transformation. Okay. When something is in decay and there's the process to that decay, but you need to continue to function. All you want to do is curl up in bed and really just stay there. Okay. So here's what I'm going to share with you now. What I term for me as a shaman, entering the shaman's cave, right? And you might be going, I haven't got time to, let go of the world and just go into my cave. Yes, you have. Because here's what the shaman's cave is. For example, you might wake up in the morning and you just think, I can't. And there's grief that you move in and out of. Because at that human level, there's a grief of a deep letting go. But we don't want to do the struggle. We don't want to push back on that grief. We don't want to sink into that grief. We want to allow ourselves to move through the decay, the letting go, the deep surrender process. And For entrepreneurs like me, you need to get up and you need to still function. For someone that's got a job to go to, you still need to get up and go to your job. You can't then just go, I'm going to just curl up and stay in bed and think that that's your cave. You still need to function, but how can you create that cave, enter that shaman's cave where new life, where the decay gets to happen, but you also sustain the new life that's emerging as well, where you get to look after and nurture that energy, that deep energy transition. So this is what I'm going to share with you. If you feel like that first thing in the morning and you just can't get out of bed and you feel that grief or you feel that weight, take a moment to enter the shaman's cave. Wrap your arms around yourself, cuddle a pillow, and just spend 2 or 3 minutes telling yourself, telling that child, and if you're at that decay level, there's more than just the inner child, there's the inner teenager, there's the inner 20-year-old, whatever it might be. You're just embracing that totality of yourself and just loving yourself, supporting yourself in saying, it's okay. I'm here with you for a moment in the inner cave. It's okay. I'm in deep surrender, deep letting go, and it's okay. It can be that simple. All right. Then when you get up, if you've got time to journal. If not, just start saying to yourself as you're preparing, as you're brushing your teeth, as you're getting your cup of coffee or cacao, whatever it is that you do in your preparation in the morning, just start thinking of the things that you're grateful for, the immediate things. And then deepen it into you're grateful for your connection. That's being in the inner cave. Grateful for your connection to source, to soul, and to success self. Grateful for your mind, grateful for your emotions, grateful for your physical form and your body, and grateful to your energy. Okay. That's taking another moment to be in the shaman's cave where you are protecting, not in a fearful manner, but that nurturing protectiveness. So you can still be in the inner shaman's cave while doing. It's where the doing is that masculine energy and being in that cave in your consciousness, being in that field of new creation, being in that energy of transformation and self-nurturing. If you can't go out for a walk immediately, just be mindful of the steps that you're taking, or take a 1-minute walk outside to just breathe in the fresh air, to breathe in the beauty of the sky, to breathe in the beauty of the green trees, to breathe in the beauty of someone's smile, to breathe in the beauty of the breeze, anything that you can find that is beautiful, taking you and holding you in the inner shamanic cave. You can do that. Or if you go for a walk, put your shoulders back, keep the body open, okay? Now I'm going to give you a breathing technique, and you can do that anywhere. I've done it while I'm walking around, because when I went for my walk at my most vulnerable, I felt the grief, and this is one way to help settle the nervous system, okay? Or to shake it out of the body, if you can just shake it out and jump. Or what I did when I walked, when no one was around, was I just shook my shoulders up and down and my arms. Okay, just to shift that energy to allow that process of that decay, that letting go to happen so it doesn't store and get stuck in your physical form. And then this breathing, which is very simple, but very powerful to recalibrate and calm the nervous system. Okay? Because what you're letting go of, what's in decay mode, where you are and letting go in that transformation, if that uprooting and breaking down that illusion that had become an intrusion, that core story, that false story and belief that kept playing out and playing out and playing out until you were like, I can't have this play out anymore. It's reflecting back into me. And remember, it's not anything outer that needs to change. It's something in here. So you're going to take a big deep breath in through your nose, then a quick short one in that same breath. So a double breath, a long breath and then a short breath, and then drop the jaw and let it out and keep breathing like that. Okay? And keep breathing like that and keep breathing like that until you feel recalibrated. That's taking a moment to be in the shaman's inner cave. So if you need to do that when you're at the lights, if you need to do that on a lunch break, if you need to do that while you're going for your walk, if you need to do that when you're in the quiet space of your own home, okay? These are the things that are going to nurture you through. Now, the next one is your heart intelligence breathing, which I think I've covered in episode 2, but let's go over it again. Hand on the chest, just put a little bit of pressure. You're going to take 4 breaths in, hold for 4, drop the jaw and let the breath out for 4, right? But you're going to include 4 words. You can choose from love, compassion, understanding and forgiveness, which is powerful during this process. Or it can be, I am with source. Okay, 4 words. And you're going to say those 4 words within your mind as you breathe them in. You're going to say those 4 words internally as you hold that breath. You're going to say those 4 words in your mind as you let out that breath. With your hand on your chest with a bit of pressure. This too helps calm the nervous system. It brings your energy into the present moment. Okay? We don't want to get lost back in that past old story. We don't want to, get lost in the projections of, but what's next if this is all shifted, if this is all changed? What's on the other side of that? All you need to know is something amazing and powerful and beautiful and something you've been calling upon for a long time is going to emerge. All right? You just need to have these moments inside the shaman's cave. So you're bringing your awareness into the now moment. You're helping calm the nervous system again. All right? You're connecting in with the intelligence of the heart because you don't want to go outside that cave and caught in your head. All right? We're keeping ourselves in that cave, in that womb space where new creation is taking place. We're working with the process to bring about greater ease. Okay? We're not pushing back on it. It's also tapping you into and amplifying that inner voice of knowing. If you do that breathing for 3 or more minutes, you're also feeding those words, that energy, that vibration into the subconscious. And in connecting in through this heart intelligence breathing, you are putting yourself into the field of creation, what some call the quantum field, or many call the quantum field, but I call it the field of creation, where you have head-heart coherence. Okay? that working together, not one aspect working against you. This is all putting you into the shaman's cave. During this time where you feel insular and you just want to isolate because your energy and you are feeling more sensitized, watch less television. Be mindful of what you watch. So sometimes I do like a murder mystery or things like that, but when I'm in the shaman's cave, it's just absolutely a feel-good, doesn't take much to, just a feel-good mindless movie. Stay away from as much social media as you can. Okay? Take magnesium baths. And yes, you still might need to look after the children and do this and do that, but if you're just calling upon these things and each process that I've spoken about that keeps you inside the inner cave, that nurtures you, creates a nurturing energy and cocoon around you, none of it's taken long. What do I say? 2 or 3 minutes hugging yourself in bed and giving yourself that comfort and reassurance. If you can't sit and write and journal, speak it out loud as you're getting ready. Okay? Don't waste those moments of thinking on anything other, because gratitude keeps you aligned as well. If you're out in nature, going for a walk, put your hands against a tree and just close your eyes and let yourself ground with it. And just affirm, I am strength like the tree. If you're driving or if you're walking and you see the ocean and the blueness, I am the power of the ocean. Or for me, the other day, I was walking around the lake and the lake was so calm. I am the calmness of the lake. Okay, so breathing in beauty, connecting and grounding yourself with nature, because remember, everything is connected, everything is oneness. Not just each living human being, but you are one with the earth, you are one with the tree, you are one with the ocean. Align with the qualities of what those elements can offer you. Draw on that strength of what you feel when you close your eyes and your hands are on that tree and you connect. And you may even feel, with your eyes closed, the inner universe of that tree, the same universe that exists within you. This is all creating, can you feel it? That cocooned inner cave, inner womb, where you can decay. You'll be left with the new bones to form the new body, the new being, the new expression. I think I may have said this in the last episode, if you can't go for that walk and you really feel that you need to connect with the earth, you must have a garden or a pot plant, or just as powerful, touch the leaves. Take a moment, just touch the leaves. Touch the branches of a tree before you go and get in your car. Every moment of those choices keeps you in the shamanic inner cave energy, keeps you moving with this process, keeps you heart connected and now moment aligned. And then if you need further support, you either contact me and ask for shamanic healing or some coaching, or you find somebody that you know and trust that you know can help you realign, because there might be old karmic patterns that need to be cleared from your system that could run way back. Not 7 generations, but even further back. There can be imprints that you've been imprinted with that also need to be released for that energy to flow. Stay attuned to your inner voice of knowing. Call upon Source. Invoke Source for you to feel Source's presence more deeply within you and around you and into this circumstance. To remove all illusion with you. To reveal the truth. For that voice to be so loud that there is no doubt. And to give you the strength to walk the path that lays before you. Because if you don't take these moments to keep yourself in that inner cave, that nurtured state, you will drain yourself of energy. You may get stuck into your emotional loop. You can't force against the natural process. You want to work with it. And if you can just hibernate a little bit, great. This is like energetic hibernation. Right? So you can still function in areas of the day where you need to function, but throughout the day and the way you start the morning. Another way is I recommend that you wake up 15 minutes early and play a morning meditation that aligns you for the day. I'm going to be creating a morning one and an evening one, and I'm going to put them up on YouTube. So go find them, or one that you really resonate with. And that's what I do. I wake up 20 minutes early, and the first thing I do is I press that meditation. And I haven't done a guided meditation for years. I just meditate on my own, and I'm doing it now because that's how I'm going to start the morning in my inner cave. And then I still do my own personal meditation. And then if you haven't been able to journal through the day, sit there in the evening, write out how you feel before you go off to sleep so it's not sitting with you in your mental field, in your mind, and write your gratitudes. And include being grateful for being in this process, and then grateful for the feeling of freedom on the other side. So know that you're not going crazy. Two worlds are unfolding. And as we're moving from the old world consciousness into your next world being, there's the overlay. And what a lot of people are feeling is that movement between the two, and you can't fully be present in the other until these old threads have ceased and formed into the new body of being. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. If you want to feel like part of a community, go into my Facebook group, Empowering Women Through Shamanic Mastery. But if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to send them in. But you might need to listen to this episode a couple of times and just jot down each of those processes. All very simple, all very profound, and make that conscious choice to bring that feminine process of going into the shamanic inner cave via those ways of being, so that you can also function in action with that masculine energy of the doing. But if you get caught in only that doing, it will be like being in the rip of a surf beach where you feel pummeled underneath it. Another thing is revisit what you're eating, because you do want really nourishing, healthy foods and protein and veg. Okay, things that will nourish your body, because your body is going through the frequency change as well. Okay, drink plenty of water. You might need some electrolytes. Have some magnesium baths, or rub the magnesium salt crystals over you in a shower. Work with it. Drink plenty of water. See a naturopath if you need to. Okay, so being in that inner cave is addressing every element of you, because it's the whole total elements of who you are, from the mental, energetically, emotional, energetically, physically, energetically. Okay, and keep holding the feeling of freedom and expansion and aligned synchronicities as you start coming out of that decay process will just start unfolding. Because magic and miracles do occur every single day when you know that they do. Opportunities will knock on your door when you know that they do. So the more that you work with this process, the more that you apply these things, the more that you allow yourself to be enveloped in the inner shamanic cave, the swifter, you will move into the new, into the reformed. So much love to you all. Take care. Catch you next time. Join me on my next episode, and if you love this podcast, please subscribe by clicking on the plus button if you're on Apple, or like and follow on Spotify, rate and review, and please share Inner Voice of Knowing with your friends.